on the internet than it said for us. And I would wake up in the morning because, well, let me first of all set up the whole scenario. A lot of people don't know that Elliot is and has been a touring bass player for Michael Schenker, and Elliot and I have had the privilege to play together, which I cherish that, and he knows that.
Same here.
And thank you, buddy. And you know, and the thing is I would get up in the morning, and
it really wasn't the morning when you got up.
Well, no, dude, you were up
probably
early.
Closer to the afternoon, right?
No, he was up early. I would get up just to go to the bathroom or something. I'd come out with one eye open, all disheveled, and there's Elliot just working away.
At least you didn't come out with your back waxed.
Yeah,
right.
And he's just
I'm on my 400th email, and you're on your third week.
Exactly. But so he was always working. And there aren't too many people who you can sit there and honestly say that is a CEO of a major corporation, and he's out on tour, and he's out there schlepping it like us.
Well, you know how it is. Look, when you're on the road, I love those 2 hours on stage, the sound check and the hang and all that. But there's a lot of free time, and when you run a company, you just got to take advantage of every spare minute, and it's tough to do that. I mean, because it's so easy to fall into the trap of sleeping late and hanging out and just not working. But I just don't have the luxury of being able to do that.
Right.
I've got to keep the company going when I'm out on the road.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I saw this guy take a nap, I thought he was sick or something. I mean, really. So, but yeah, I mean, he would be up working and getting things done, and then if we had a day off, Elliot would fly back to Tampa and get work done, and then he'd be back meet us back in the next city, and it was great.
Wow.
It worked out well.
There's a lot of time in the day, isn't there? I mean, you only have to sleep 6 hours, 7 hours, and the rest of the time you just stay busy doing a lot of different things. And the playing takes a lot out of you, and you want to be in prime condition when you get up on stage, especially with Michael, because Michael's just so energetic, and the band,
right.
So on point. You just can't be a slacker.
Well, yeah, and especially on this particular tour, because Michael was, I've been playing with him off and on since '97, and I think Elliot would agree that right now Michael is playing probably better than he has in 20 years, and
wow.
And his stage presence is I've never seen it before until this tour, and
right.
I mean he's smiling, he's interacting with the crowd, and he's actually even interacting with us. And I remember there was a point in time when I worked with him, he was a statue over there, So
well, he said that it's a whole other period of time for him. He's really enjoying playing on stage live, which he said he used to get very stage. He'd get nervous getting up on stage. He just didn't enjoy it. He was fearful of mistakes. He's a perfectionist, and now for the first time, he told me at 58, he's really enjoying being on stage and performing and entertaining people, and it really shows in his actions.
Yeah, and you
That's awesome.
And you endorse him, so I know you talk to him a lot, and so yeah, and actually Michael's actually said certain things to me, like he's in a better place now, and he's enjoying life, and I don't know. I mean, besides Michael, all I can speak for us. I know how it was for Elliot, me, Wayne, and Pete. How much fun we had being on that stage. Like he said,
I can imagine.
For those 2 hours, it was just the most fun that I've ever had on a tour. And prior to that, it was the South American tour was the most fun.
It had to be like an adrenaline rush too. Like it had to be like a high.
Well, it was. But not only that, but it was just more. I enjoyed the people that I was up on stage with.
Yeah.
I think it translated to the audience, because I have so many Facebook friends who still tell me to this day, you guys are having so much fun up there. You're smiling, you're happy, you're moving, and it really translates to them. They can tell. I mean, you cannot hide from them. If you're unhappy, they see it. If you're happy, they see it.
Yeah, I think the crowd feeds off that energy.
A lot of different Schenker lineups, and they said this is the one that they feel had the most energy and the most fun of all the ones they've ever seen.
Well, and we look like we belong together. We really gelled together, and not only
had that chemistry.
Yeah, and not only on stage but off stage. Because when you're trapped on a tour bus for so many hours and things like that, it can get a little monotonous.
You better get along, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. A lot of time you're together.
And there was never a time, I can never sit there and point my finger at any particular time where there was any kind of uproar, so to speak, for the lack of a better word.
Right.
So, and
well, there was a time you had the vacuum cleaner on an extended period of time. I have to tell you.
Were you trying to drown something out there, David?
No, I'm very anal about. I vacuum. I keep the bus clean. The bus driver is the person supposed to keep the bus clean, and I'm the guy who was doing it. I'd walk around and pick up behind everybody, and that's.
I'm sure Beyonce didn't clean up after us.
No, Beyonce, no, she didn't. No. Beyonce had the bus at one point in time.
Oh,
so,
did she really?
Yeah. So
It's true.
I forgot about that until you just said that. Yeah.
Did you find any articles of clothing that she left behind?
No.
That would be interesting.
We looked. The bus used to be pink on the inside. I have to tell you.
Really?
Yeah, they redid the whole thing. They redid the whole bus by the time we got it. So yeah, but Elliot, so I mean, you and I've spoken over the past few days, but why don't you tell the listeners basically what you've been doing?
Well, as you know, I have an affinity for German guitar players. So Uli John Ruff is a good buddy of mine too, who's an amazing guitar player. Had me on tour with him. I just got home a few days ago, and I was in a trade show in California called the NAMM Show, which is a big international trade show. So I went directly from that trade show on tour with Uli played about 14 dates with him, starting in California, worked our way across the country. We played in Denver, and once we hit Denver, it's been snow ever since.
Yeah, I was going to say, is this the Drag My Ass Out of the Snow tour? Is that what it is? Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we missed
Gotta
the
bring
gig.
some
I've
sleds
never
for
in
the
my
tour
life
bus.
missed the gig because it was too much snow because of a blizzard, and the bus got caught in a snowdrift, had to be towed out. I mean, it's quite entertaining, to be honest. But we played 14 dates and just had a great time. Uli's totally different from Michael. They're both great. Michael's very rehearsed. Everything is very, the same set list every night, same way every night. Uli is anything but that. It's a different song. We don't have a song list. He just calls out the songs and starts playing, and you better be ready. And he'll walk off stage and have you jam with the band. And, I grew up jamming. Grew up on Jimi Hendrix and Zeppelin, and, that's what he grew up on. We're about 6 months apart. It's just great to play with somebody who has that loose feel and just lets you, get up there and do your thing.
Well, and here's the thing, and Uli doesn't rehearse.
No?
No. So basically, when Elliot met up with the guys at the band, I think it was about for the first time. I think it was at sound check.
I met the guys 3 hours before.
It was at sound check, wasn't it, or something?
Sounds like me. I don't rehearse either.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's just crazy, and especially the way there's no set list. Uli, I think, just barks out songs, and
learn these 40 songs, and you never know what I'm going to call.
Yeah. And whereas Michael's just a total creature of habit. Everything's the same every night, which I personally do like that.
You like it to be more scripted?
Yeah, I like organization. Otherwise, I get a little structure. Yeah, I get a little frazzled if it's not. But not as bad as Michael. If something goes,
yeah, but Michael needs to be rehearsed. But the thing with Uli, if you can do Uli's gig, you can do anybody's gig.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It'll prepare you for a lot.
And it is amazing to see. Am I on here?
Yes.
I think, Elliot, I think we have another call coming in, somebody that wants to say hello to you.
That's Jason.
Who is it?
Jason.
Yeah.
Jason?
Hi, I've been on for a while, and I kept my app shut because I didn't want to interrupt anybody, but this is Jason Salger, Chef Jason calling from Milwaukee, checking in.
Oh, man.
Hey, Jason.
Very good. Good evening, David. Good evening, Elliot. Say again?
I said, come over and cook something for me, would you?
Oh, man, hey, send the plane over, bro. Send the plane over, or the chopper. You got me.
Easy We're on a budget this week.
Wow. Okay, so now let me explain.
I gotta say,
let me explain.
I do have to say, if I may, as far as the Uli thing, I had the privilege, Steve and I both, we had the privilege of seeing 4 of the shows, 2 with the Elliot and Pete lineup, 2 with the current lineup. And what Elliot is saying and what David knows is so true. If you can cut it with Uli, you can cut it with anybody. It's just like Elliot was saying. There's no set list. You got to be on your toes. And I'll tell you, the shows that we saw were amazing.
I could only imagine.
I wish I would have gotten to see it. I really did, but
Uli's a world-class guitar player. There's just very few people who could play like in his sense of harmonies, and he'll front a 100-piece orchestra, no problem. I don't know how many guitar players can do that.
Is there any possibility of getting that lineup to play some gigs here in the Tampa Bay area?
Well, I would love to play, in the Bay Area and come home to my bed every night. But the issue is that the agent we're using just doesn't seem to have the connections here. We never seem to get any further south than David, Virginia.
Yeah, I think Virginia was just further south. Well, yeah, I think for you guys on the previous tour, but for us, this time it was Maryland.
Right.
Are you using the same booking agency that we used?
Yes,
okay.
It is the same agency.
Okay.
And the issue is there's so many people who have never seen Michael live and never seen Uli live, and Uli's playing songs that the Scorpions recorded and never played live. So, I mean, this is really historic. He's recording every single night. He's filming, and he's going to do a double CD and a DVD, which hopefully will be out later this year.
I'm sure he's playing stuff like off the Virgin Killer album and like all that stuff too, right?
Exactly. He's doing all of that, and it's just so much fun to play. Things like, I'm trying to remember some of the songs that he never did with the Scorpions. I don't know all of them, but things that he did in Tokyo tapes, like all night long, that they never played anywhere except for Tokyo.
Oh, wow.
Did you guys do He's a Woman, She's a Man?
No, that's one we didn't do. Oh. That would have been number 41.
That would have been the 41st song?
Well, see, now, and the funny thing is like I've been, I talk to Uli all the time about possibly singing for him, but Uli tells me he can't afford me. But the thing is that I would like to, I would love to play with Uli, and it is, it would just be a blast having Pete there playing drums and Elliot as well. That would be awesome for me. So,
well, David, you've done so many great things. You played in so many great bands and toured so much. You have so much, history. It would be great to have you, with Uli as well. And I'm sure the day will come we'll do that.
I think so. I think it's going to eventually happen. I mean, and Uli was so supportive when I got back with Michael. Actually, particularly at the Damn Show when I first met you, Elliot, was when Uli was there, and Uli walked up to me, and I remember he made me feel so good because he said to me, he goes, I'm happy that you're back with Michael. He goes, you're good for Michael, and to have that come from Uli, it really meant something to me. So I've never forgotten that, and I've told Uli that.
He's a class act. He's a class act, and he's easy to be around. He's fun to be around, and every night he'd invite me out to the signings. He'd ask me, "Would you come out with me to the signings?" Which I'm not used to that. Usually there's the star of the band, and he doesn't want any part of the band. With Uli, he really wants to share the success, and that's what I enjoy about him so much.
Well, even when we played with him in Mexico City, it wasn't Mexico City. It was Chihuahua, Mexico. Which I didn't know there was a Chihuahua, Mexico until I found about this gig. But
Chihuahua.
Yeah, but
probably a few of them.
Yeah, but after the show, we're in the hotel room, we're all having some cocktails, and Nuli's sitting right there with us, and you just he makes you forget that he's just legendary guitar player.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's just down to earth, and he doesn't have like all that ego and stuff.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. He never tries to big league you, and that's the main thing. So Elliot, the tour went really well, right? You're happy with it?
It went great. I wish I could have finished it, but again, I had to get back to my day gig. But I'll tell you, my ears are ringing. I had earplugs in every night, and my ears are ringing loud. I hope anybody who's listening who doesn't wear earplugs is making a huge mistake. Start early. Wear them often. Trust me.
Well, wait a minute. We make the disclaimer here, though. You did play with Uli, who is about as loud as they possibly can be. Okay, at least
with the earplugs, it's still probably 120 dB.
It was unbelievably loud. Yeah, he. I remember when we were doing the G3 tour, Stu Ham would be up on stage with those things that they wear on the tarmac.
Traffic controllers.
Those big headphones. The noise.
Stu didn't even try to hide it. It was just he just put those big orange things on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which matched his goofy orange outfit that he used to wear. Anything. So, but but yeah, I mean, Uli's just extremely loud. One of the loudest guitar players I've ever played. Him and George Lynch are probably at the two loudest I've ever played with. So,
which brings the whole, the overall stage volume up, quite a bit, because you have to compete. You have to bring your level up to be heard over his level, and the next guy brings it up to match you. Next thing you know, it's just this roar on stage, and it's really tough. It's very hard to hear. So I prefer to play at lower volumes on stage.
And it's light years different with Michael. There's times.
Michael's not loud whatsoever.
He's not loud at all.
No?
There's sometimes.
That's surprising.
Yeah, there's times I thought I was like, Michael needs to be louder. Wayne was louder than Michael sometimes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know. But that's a better way to be, because then the PA, you use the PA to get the levels.
Right. And Michael G, I don't think he doesn't like it very loud, so that's just the way he likes it. So that's cool. But Uli, wow.
Yeah. So, it's not easy. Not an easy gig in any way.
And Elliot, I think we have another call coming in actually that wants to speak to David and yourself.
Okay.
No? Who do we have on the line?
Hello.
Hello. You're live on the Hellraisers Ball.
Oh yeah. Well, this is your chef Steve from Milwaukee, calling in from sunny Milwaukee. 10 degrees, 20-mile-an-hour winds, icy. It's like an ice rink. Would you like to come up and play hockey?
How do you two are the only two guys who get through? How do you do that? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I don't know. Am I still on here
talented.
too?
Jay's still on too, man.
Well,
yeah, we're big fans.
I'll hang out. I ain't going anywhere.
We're big fans.
I'd rather be right now.
These guys. Okay, again, let me. It's funny because Steve called here last week when Carmine was on, and
he's the greatest. Steve and Jason, man, they come backstage. They set up a kitchen in the green room, and in 10 or 15 minutes, they have this gourmet meal cooked. They are the most amazing guys I've ever met.
Well, thank you. It is an honor, and thank you, Elliot. It's an honor. We love to do it.
Well, I remember. I remember us being on the bus, and they made this checkerboard thing. The
chessboard. That's a wonderful piece of work. I do have to.
I think I still have ceviche in my pocket somewhere.
Cats will follow you around that way.
I just wanted to send a shout out for David Van Landing. I mean, this is now your third week co-hosting this show. You only need 2 more weeks to get the entire band back together. It's amazing.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah, that means I got to get peed on. No, actually, I need more than that, because I get what you mean as far as like.
Well, all you got to do for the South American tour is get a hold of Wayne and Mike.
There you go.
Yeah, good luck getting Michael on. Michael doesn't have the patience for this. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't.
I did one interview with Michael.
He's missing out.
I did one interview with Michael in Japan a long time ago, and it was just it was very awkward.
Was it?
Yeah, he conducts his interviews much differently than anybody else I've ever met. Because doing interviews with Tony McAlpine or whoever, it's so easy going. And Michael, you're definitely a little. You got to be on your toes, to a certain extent. So.
I did an interview with him with Eddie Trunk in New York City on Sirius Radio a couple of months ago, and that went well. He was actually very personable.
Oh, cool.
You said that. I remember you said it really well. And I tried to find that. I wanted to hear that. I haven't heard that.
It'd still be great to get him on the air. That'd be awesome.
Well, anything's possible. I mean, maybe one of these days. Who knows? He's like I said. He's hard to nail down. He really is.
Yeah.
Well, get Wayne anyways.
Well,
I'm sure Wayne would love it.
Wayne will be no problem.
I think what we'll do is we might try to get Wayne on next week. How about that?
That'd be cool. Yeah.
That would be awesome. It'd be like a family reunion.
There you go.
Right.
And we could do a conference call like this. Get everybody on the phone.
Everybody on the phone. Yeah.
Why not?
So what else is going on, Elliot? What do you got? What's next in store?
Well, I just got back from a Guitar Center store, and we had a clinician here for our Luna brand, which is an acoustic guitar brand that we developed about 10 years ago. And we had a clinician named Vicki Genton, a very talented woman who plays a very percussive acoustic style. So we did a clinic, went out to dinner, and just coming home and go to sleep and start all over again tomorrow. That's what I do.
Very cool. So now, Elliot, tell us a little bit about some of the other bands that you've gone out on tour with. Because you've gone out with a lot of different lineups, right?
Well,
I play sometimes with Michelangelo Badio, who, if you guys don't know who he is, he's the guy who plays the two-neck guitar.
Yeah, he's amazing.
That's what he's known for, but he's one of the fastest guitar players and great, incredible guitar player. So I do a show with him. He does a tribute to rock guitar starting in the 60s, working his way up to current time. So he has a three-piece band that I play with him from time to time. I played with guys. Vinnie Moore is having to be playing his new record, so I'm looking forward to playing a few tracks on his record. And I'm blessed that I have a lot of artists that I work with, and they work with me either live or on record, and make me available to them to do certain things as it comes up.
Yeah,
so
that's incredible.
I stay very busy between work and playing. It's been great, not just live playing but also recording.
That is incredible. Now, I have another question for you. How would a local artist go about getting an endorsement from Dean Guitars or D-Drum or anything like that?
Well,
I have nothing to do with that one.
People ask. First of all, the first thing you have to do is I have someone named an artist relations guy for Dean Guitars named Josh Maloney, and he takes care of any requests. Typically, people always ask me, what do I need to do to get a deal with Dean Guitars? But basically, we're looking for people who are out and playing, who get a lot of impressions. In other words, they get in front of a lot of people, so the guitars are seen. People who have CDs out, the records are selling, they're performing. They're doing interviews, they're talking about the instruments. And also we look for people who, prior to the relationship, are already playing our guitars,
right,
because they have an affinity towards the instrument, as opposed to someone who comes to us and is just trying to get a free guitar.
Okay.
There you go.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
So you know what, Elliot? I want you to talk about, because this is obviously close to you and me, because when I went to I knew Dimebag. I've known him for all the way back to when Pantera was a glam band, back in the early '80s.
In the '80s.
Yeah, and I saw those guys grow and everything. And then,
I remember that the early lineup, and as a matter of fact, the original singer wasn't he the guy that wound up in Lord Tracy? Right?
Actually, I don't think. No, I think they had a guy before him, but that guy ended up singing in Lord. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and then he went. Yeah. But I think
he was on the early album.
I think he was one of the second. I think he was the second singer. Yeah.
And then Phil Alcimo came in. I think during the Power Metal album or something like that.
Yeah. But I knew Rex and Rex and Daryl, the ones I knew the best. And but Daryl was always. He was always just a sweetheart of a guy. And I remember I saw Daryl not too long before we lost him. We were in a strip club in Scottsdale, Arizona, and he was beating the shit out of an ATM, and I was because he wouldn't give him any money. And I walked up to him, I go, "Hey, what are you doing?" And of course, he had a few choice words for it, and he was kicking it and beating the shit out of it. And you just get the visual from that. It was just a tragic thing that happened to him, But
yeah, that is tragic.
But in Elliot's office, he has Elliot's done a very nice job of doing certain
memorializing.
Yeah, I for the lack of better, I didn't know exactly how to word it, but like for instance, I just love the framing. He has the framing of the artwork that Daryl had of his guitars. You know what I'm talking about, right, Elliot?
Well, Daryl had come to us. He was a Dean guitar. Just a quick story. He was a Dean guitar player from the time he was 14 years old. Always wanted an endorsement with Dean guitars. Didn't get it. Went to another guitar company, and then in 2004 he called us and said, I want to come back to Dean Guitars. So we started talking to him in September of 2004. Had him come to Tampa and hang with us. He took me and the rest of the guys drinking, which I'm probably still ill from 3 years later. That guy, I just can never in my wildest imagination keep up with him. But anyway, he signed back up with us, and 6 weeks after he signed, he was killed in Ohio, unfortunately. And on the bus was a file of all the notes and drawings and descriptions he had done of guitars he wanted us to build, and we have them framed. They have them in the lobby of our building, and he was just so imaginative and so creative. He had so many ideas for color schemes and body styles, and he wanted us to build guitars for Kerry King and Zach and a few other, and Eddie Van Halen. and we built guitars for all those people and presented them to them after Dime's death. But
yeah,
it was just tragic that
I seen one of those
career
on YouTube of you presenting the guitar to Kerry King from Slayer.
Right, exactly. And we made one for Eddie Van Halen. We made a Razorback for Eddie, and we made it in red, white, and black initially. And then Eddie came to the funeral and put his original Charvel guitar, which is a yellow and black guitar, in Dime's casket, and we rebuilt the guitar in those colors so we can replace the guitar that he had put in Dime's grave.
Oh wow!
So it was kind of a touching, moving time.
Yeah.
And also in Elliot's office, he has several of the guitars up on a stand, and it's just right, and it just faces Elliot's desk.
Don's original guitars, the one he played on Walk on the record, and a few of the guitars we made for him, and he came back to Dean guitars, and I just keep them, in my office, in memory of him.
Yeah,
I
just think that's wonderful. I really do, and that just kind of goes to show you what kind of person Elliot is, and the person that I know. I just you and I, Elliot, I don't hide the fact that I love you so much. I really do.
Yeah, well, of course. We get along great. I love you. You're the greatest, and there's very few guys you can get along with for 6 weeks on a tour bus, believe me.
Right. And then and we did. We had a blast, and so
absolutely.
And pretty much any time that I've gone to Elliot for any kind of requests, some people might know this, some people might not know this, but my ex-wife, she had stage 4 breast cancer, and and she didn't have insurance, and I went to Elliot and said, Elliot, will you do me a favor? I said, do you think you could donate a guitar? It wasn't even it was done,
Just done.
Yeah. And he donated a Schenker Flying V guitar, and
oh, wow.
And we had it signed by Uli and Elliot, and also and Michael, and we auctioned it off, and the money went to Rhonda. But I really appreciated that, and so it's things like that when you think outside the box of the CEO of a big company or the guy you see on stage playing bass. You see a wonderful guy, and that's how I feel about him. So and just the simple
you have
as this.
to be there for your friends, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Here.
Yeah.
Here to that.
Yeah, and just like this, I pick up the phone and ask Elliot. I said, you want to come on the air with us, and it's it's just a no-brainer. And,
yeah, it's done.
Yeah. So, but I'm happy that you could join us, Elliot. I really am, and I'm still waiting for my signature guitar. I gave you the specs.
You're going to be waiting a long time. You might get a signature microphone. You're not getting a signature guitar.
There you go.
I'm not going to go into details of what kind of guitar I want, but
and Jason and Steve are going to get a signature knife.
There you go.
Oh, we're working on the blueprints right now for the Chef series. We're working on it right now.
Okay.
Give me a
We'll
couple of
unveil
weeks
it.
break
Next
on
time
that.
around, we're going to unveil it.
right on.
I'm ready if you are.
Well, hopefully, Elliot, we're gonna be doing something together here again real soon, and
I'm sure
it's probably gonna be lunch, but
well, you'll call me during the week. We'll talk about that. But I appreciate you guys having me on. It's a pleasure, and I'm always here if you need me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
buddy.
Elliot, thank you very much.
I'll be in touch
All
with
right,
you, my
guys.
friend. Have a great evening, and Jason, Steve, thanks for calling in, guys. It's always good to hear from you as well.
Pleasure.
If you don't mind,
Honored to be here.
another shameless plug for you guys. David Van Landing, of course, davidvanlanding.com. Got to go and check it out. Got to find out what this guy is all about. And he's got, for all you old school metal guys, he's got a mannequin Facebook page.
Wow.
We can all share our old embarrassments. I know we were there. Come on, let's live it up. Let's have some fun with this, really.
Yeah, I see.
And Elliot, Dean, the web stream, the highlights are going to be up on the Dean Guitar website pretty soon, and you guys got to go out there and check it out. That Dean web stream was awesome. The highlights will be great. You can't believe the amount of fun. You got Curse Mackey and
Jose Manigan.
You just have so many people, all these guests in with all the signature models and everything like that. The electricity and excitement that they created at NAMM on that web stream, you got to go and check Dean Guitars out.
It's a lifestyle, isn't it?
Right? Get your wings.
Yeah,
if you're listening, if you're on the fence about getting the Dean, get it together. Get your wings, people.
We're talking about Michael Schenker. We're talking about Uli John Roth, and who are they with? Elliot, my friend. You are making some great instruments.
Well, he took.
Thank you so much.
Here.
He took a dying.
They keep getting better. That's our promise.
He took a dying company and turned it into a multi-million-dollar business, and you know, you can only do that by putting out good product. You know.
Oh, absolutely. Dean guitars rule.
So.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
So,
rock on, brothers.
Yeah,
rock
so
on.
we better stop talking before Elliot's head can't get out of his car. You know, so.
Yeah, it was my bedtime 2 hours ago.
Oh yeah. You'll still be up at 6. Don't worry, or 5, whatever. So. All right, buddy.
All right, well, guys, if you need me, call me. It's great to have you. Thank you for the time, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, my friend. You take care of yourself. I'll call you in a couple days.
All right, fellas. Thanks again. Talk soon.
Okay, bye-bye, Elliot.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Very cool.
So it's that simple. I mean, and you know, he's just wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And it's so funny because, you know, we have our way of talking to each other, and he called me today, and he's like, and I there's something I usually say to him, and he just goes, "I miss you." And so, you know, we had so much fun on the tour, the best tour I've ever had, best tour without a doubt, the most rewarding tour I've ever had, and I've done a lot of them. So
very cool.
yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I would love to see the lineup happen here. You know,
what, dude?
maybe we could help out the booking agents and hook them up with the right connections. I mean, we know enough people. We can make it happen, I'm sure.
I got so many emails asking why we didn't make it to Florida or even Atlanta or Georgia or south of Virginia. He never plays down here. Every tour that I've ever done with him, I've never made it to Florida with him. So, and I don't understand that.
Well, it's long overdue.
Yeah, I think so. So.
Very cool. And in a little bit, we'll get to watching the video.
Yeah. I wish we could actually throw that in, but you know, that's fine. I mean, we'll get to it. I'm just happy that Elliot came on, and like I said, I'm glad he was able to give us a little insight about what Daryl, because I mean, he really does work. He makes sure that he keeps Daryl's spirit alive, and you see that right when you walk into the store or into the main headquarters.
Yeah. And I've been there before. I've actually been at the Dean warehouse over there, and you know, you could see all the, you know, artwork on the walls and, you know, guitars in the frames and stuff like that. It's pretty badass.
Right. Yeah.
And then they got the Dean Owners Group thing that goes on over there, and you know, they have it's like another world. It's like you walk into this room and there's like all these Dean guitars and dime amps and.
Well, it was funny because I mean, you know, before, you know, I mean, I knew it was a big company, but when I went over there and Elliot took me around on a little tour, I really was overwhelmed by the whole entire thing. I was just like, wow. I mean, it's like 125,000 square foot, you know, warehouse, and it's just
big.
And you know, and they're just making, and not only do they make the guitars, they make all the drums, and everything's being made right there. And then
because you could see like all the D drum stuff, and you know the Luna guitars, and
you know, and you know the
dime amps. Well, actually, they had one stack that I had my eye on. It's actually a full stack. Dime series stack that's all wrapped in gray snakeskin. It's just like totally badass. Yeah. Then I think they got like a camouflage one right next to it.
When I walked in there, when I was in there the last time I was in there, I mean the drummer from Shinedown was in there. And,
cool.
And I met him, so you never knew he was going to be walking around in there. And I think Dave Vincent from Morbid Angel was in there, and I was talking to him. And but you know, I mean, the store is amazing, and just all of the display stuff. I mean, he even has a jacket in his office that Carmine belonged to Carmine. Back in Carmine wore it on the Ed Sullivan show back in the 1966. Or something
wow!
Like that. So that's hanging right there. Yeah,
I like to see that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And in just a minute, we're going to be bringing in Dana Walsh, lead guitarist for American Fix, and I believe we've got some other members of the band out there as well, and they're a bunch of thrash metal guys from right here in Tampa Bay, and some people may know Dana Walsh from his previous bands, Money Shot, and he was in a death metal band called Brutality, and we're also going to be talking to Dana about his audio and video recording studio that I was actually at yesterday, DEG Entertainment, and they got a great setup over there, so you know, if anybody needs any, pro level recording, video or audio,
I
you definitely got to check these guys out.
Yeah, somebody was telling me about that. I don't know if it's that studio. I think Ozzy.
They got a full green screen studio.
The same place? You don't know? Okay.
Yeah. And we have a live spectator in the studio as well. Angie Campbell from Den of Thieves. Maybe we'll drag her ass on the air and she'll talk to us for a little bit later on. And I think before we actually bring Dana and the guys from American Fixin', we should go to the video of you singing with G3. DJ Slam Durango.
I think he's busy.
And I think we're going to have a cameo appearance by the infamous Dana Piper. Are you going to come in? No? You're not coming in? Yeah, let's play the G3 video with David singing with Michael Schenker and Brian